Hello. Hello. Today it's Tuesday, September. All right, we had Monday off. It was either Labor Day or Memorial Day, and I wrote emails. I wrote notes to myself this morning because I wanted to make videos. So in this video, I'll talk about my daughter. She fixed her own basketball hoop's height. Her basketball hoop fell because of the wind or something during the rain this past week. I did help her pick it up. And I did think about readjusting the height. But since she didn't think about it, I didn't mention it back then. So yesterday she thought about readjusting the height. And she said, "Daniel, will you help me?" And I always pause. And I've been good so far. I've always said yes. So she brought the ladder. But this time, I didn't get up there. I told her, "All right, I'll hold it for you. I'll hold the ladder for you." And she climbed up and just pushed it up, and that's how she did that. Why do I treat my daughter this way? I hated the way my mother used to say, "I can't because I'm not a carpenter." She wanted to put a picture on the wall, someone's picture with a portrait, a frame. And she says, "I can't do that because I'm a woman," or "I can't do that because I'm not a carpenter." And I used to hate that. So my daughter will be useful. She will be useful. All right, what else happened yesterday? I went in many times that day. I might even go over there 10 times a day. One time, I'll go in and I'll tell my mother, "I'm about to have tea. Would you like to have some tea?" And she'll say something like yes or no. Then I'll go back to her room and I'll say, "The tea is waiting for you at the table, at the dining table." But my mother won't get up. So it just stays there. And then the spouse takes the tea to my mother. So yesterday I walked in. Well, I knock on the door all the time. I knocked on the door. This time it was my daughter that opened the door. And she was eating a mango. And she likes to cut the mango all the way around. And she finished eating that mango while I did my stuff, like get food ready. And at one moment she said, "Do you want a piece of mango?" And I was surprised. And I said, "Yes. Thank you for offering me." But then my son came. And before I grabbed a piece, now the mango doesn't have that many pieces now. I said, "Son, do you want a piece of mango?" And he said, "Yes." And there were 3 pieces left. So I said, "Grab one and then take 2 to grandma and offer her." So my son came back. I don't know if grandma took one or not. But then he wanted a second piece of mango. So I said, "Sure, go ahead, son. I'm an old man. I've eaten 100 mangoes, maybe more in my life. And so my son ate it. And that was the end of the mango. Then my son starts bothering me because I had put him to bed at around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock as he had these marks from too much computer or something. They look like when you're tired. Your eyes look tired. Over here they get blue or something. So I went to sleep with him at 2 o'clock. We got up at 6. That's when we had the mangoes. And then my son started bothering me that he wanted to use the internet, the iPod. So I told him that I didn't tell him. I did. I told him, don't. No, because I love you. And no, because your eyes are like this. And no, because first you have to pay me. Now, he paid me earlier that day by reading the Bible book. Oh, it's underneath here, holding the computer. He read that one with me, maybe 20 pages. It's a little children's Bible. And from then, I allowed him to use, that took 23 minutes, I told him, or 26, I told him he could use 13 minutes on the iPod. And he says, it's not fair. He wants $1 for dollar, meaning he wants 26 minutes. So we negotiated, but then he was giving me a hard time. So I said, okay, go ahead. But after that, I told him to listen to Booker T. Washington, and he fell asleep, which I knew he would. He's tired. At 2 o'clock, right? So at 6 o'clock, he gets up. He wants to use the iPod again. I said, okay, pay me again. Then he got real angry. So I ignored him. I walked all the way, got my hammock, and put it in the front of the house. And the neighbor's dog chased my dog, which I also took to the front of the house. And the neighbor's dog began pumping my dog. My dog is a girl dog. And so then I walked back into the house. I offered the neighbor food, dinner. He's a young man, 24 or something. He's in his 20s. And he's very skinny and very hungry. And that one talks to me about childhood abuse and neglect. That boy was neglected by his dad. His dad is a workaholic, and he just popped him into grandma and grandpa's house. And maybe in middle school, grandma and grandpa died, so the boy ended up living with his high school friends. Now he's back at this grandma and grandpa house because when the grandma and grandpa died, the house had to be emptied by the city. I don't know. And so finally the dad, being a lawyer, a workaholic, got the house back. And so this young man is living alone again in that house. So what happened was one time he had a roommate, and this roommate came and asked us for water. And we said, of course. And that's how our relationship began. Of course. I mean, we had waved at each other and stuff, but yes. And then the roommate said that they both lost their jobs and that they couldn't pay the water bill. But then the roommate moved out. But then we started feeding both of them. The spouse did that. And since she's a lunch lady, she has a lot of food sometimes, a whole bunch of pizzas that nobody eats, you know. I mean, there's maybe 10 inches high of pizzas, you know, that she comes home with. And so she began feeding them. So the young man, I offered him dinner. But then I walked into the house and the spouse was upset because her hair is not on right and she's wearing pajamas and my daughter's wearing pajamas, and they say they don't want the man in here, and they don't say it, but they give me a static. all I said was, could our neighbor come over and eat now? And he answered me, yes, he's always ready. Well, at 6 o'clock. And so I grabbed the mango and I took it to him. There was another mango. It appeared mysteriously, all right, because the first one was gone. This is just the seed of the mango, and it's already been cut. And so I took it to him and I said, would you like some mango? And in 24 years, it was the first time he ate a mango. And he loved it. And he kept the seed. And we have a mango tree back there, but it's a baby and it doesn't have any mangoes. He's going to do the same and plant it. So I didn't eat any mango yesterday, but I have all the memories. And I got to relive them because I told them how I ate mangoes when I was a kid in Honduras. My grandpa would send me out in the mornings to do a reconnaissance mission to pick up the mangoes that fell over the night. And some of them had little holes in them from where the birds used to eat the mangoes. They're sweet. But I didn't mind sharing with a bird. And then he said, no worms? And I said, no, for some reason I haven't seen any worms ever in a mango. And so then Grandpa used to put them in an igloo. We used to eat maybe one a piece or two, and they were little mangoes. 3 inches high, 4 inches high. The big ones are 5 inches high. And so we used to put them in the igloo, where the only thing that fit in that igloo was the block of ice. And then on the corners, he would put the mangoes, and he said, we'll eat these later today. At 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that, when it's hotter in the day. And so that was a wonderful memory I have of the mangoes. All right, so then we came inside and ate dinner, and I just had tea, and then I had some more tea, but then I just decided to pop in the oatmeal in it because I was full. Why was I full? I don't remember why. I must have eaten something earlier. And then the situation over there, what happened? My daughter said, put the dogs in the backyard because we're going to eat. And his dog is running loose. It's a puppy. A puppy with an erection. And so it's less than a year old. And so the spouse came out, and when she saw our dog being mounted by his dog, the spouse said, no, don't put him in the backyard. And so I said, neighbor, I have to obey the spouse. And then I wanted to tell him why, but I didn't. I know that the spouse gets angry if I tell him why. The reason why I have to obey the spouse is because if I don't obey her, the spouse calls her police dogs, and the police dogs, the police humans, right? But they act like dogs, that they just believe the woman. The spouse tells them a lie, and then I could get Baker acted, and I will lose my time with my son, which is the most valuable thing because my son is my disciple. He really does read books with me. We were reading Booker T. Washington, Character Building, the book about character building. In Booker T. Washington and the LibriVox, I was listening, and it's some reader from Wales, which I think is in England, reading it. And Booker T. Washington mentions how it was raining last night, and all of his students, he said, I would like to have seen the students, whether you're here 1 year or 4 years, I would like to have seen you when I woke up this morning fixing the pigs. He called it something else, but the pig's room or roof, because water had gotten in, it was all muddy, And he said, it would have been nice to see a group of you putting hay for the pigs, and another group of you covering the ceiling because it had rained for 24 hours. Then he says, if you're here 1 year, 4 years, and graduate, or even if you're here only 1 year, I want you to be able to fix the pigsty. Now, I don't know what a pigsty is, but imagine it's the room for the pigs. And he says, I want you to do these things without anybody telling you what to do. You automatically look and you say, that needs to be fixed. I don't want you to be a person that every 2 minutes someone has to tell you what to do. I want you to think. Here we do several things. Intelligence, build skills for the hands, and morality. Morality is important. Morality to me, Daniel, myself, it means doing the right thing. If you're a dad, you're supposed to be reading with your children. If you're a mom, you're supposed to be reading with your children. Now, my son saw the movie Jet Li, Fearless, and in that movie, Jet Li goes to where there are these farmers in a village, right, in the mountains, and he plants the spouse says it was rice, it almost in water, or in water plus mud, but he puts too much of it together, and so the woman that is blind redoes it. She picks them up and replants them. And the children go wake up Jet Li and tell him, look what she's doing. You did it wrong. You planted it wrong. So Jet Li goes to plant again. And the blind woman, she tells him, beautiful blind woman, by the way, she tells him, the plants need space. So you do not crowd them so that they grow better. And so from every movie you watch, you got to learn 10 things. That's one thing I learned, and I told my son, you see, your sister needs space. Be nice to her, but keep away from her, because of the way she treats him. She's the bigger sister, and when he goes to her bed and sits down, she says, get off of my bed. And his bed is right next to hers, but in that room. So I liked it the other day. My daughter, we were locked out, and my daughter said, where do I sit? When she came into this room, right? My son's bed is right there. And look at that, my son's bed is well made. Well, I made it for him this morning, but he made his yesterday. And then we found out that this is my bed, the yellow one. I made his bed only because he had a thicker mattress and mine was a thinner mattress, and so my fitted sheet fit my bed and his bed. So I gave it to him this morning and I put it on. He did his yesterday, and then I took the yellow one in for myself because my mattress is thinner, his is thicker. So because he was jumping from side to side, from bed to bed, and so his bed was becoming undone. And I told him, look at my bed. It's not being undone. When you go shopping, go buy yourself some fitted sheets. And then we started talking about fitted shirts. And fitted shirts are like this, you see? No wrinkles. And he says, if a fat man uses it, though, it'll be full of lumpy wrinkles. And I said, that's right, it would be. So he wants to buy a fitted shirt, too. But I told him, before that, get yourself some fitted sheets. So my daughter was here, and she said, where do I sit? And I said, there's the chair. Or you could sit by me in my bed. But don't sit in Max's bed. And I told my son, don't let her sit on your bed. Because when you go over there, she says, don't sit in my bed. But then I was testing my son, and I told him, but if you want to let her sit on your bed, let her do it. So my son said, sister, you may sit on my bed. Ooh, wasn't that something, huh? Extinguish your enemies with kindness. Gandhi used to say, we will leave as friends. So that's my new technique. We will leave as friends. Even though this spouse is very, very difficult, we will leave as friends. All right. So this is done. My daughter put up her hoop. Well done. Go read Booker T. Washington. He also talks about brushing his teeth. He says some of you have roommates. You take a shower, but do you also brush your teeth? Don't leave that out. When you're doing something, don't leave anything out. Do it the right way. So my son fell asleep, but I'm going to put it on him. Booker T. Washington, character building, so that he brushes his teeth. Be a better dad than I am. God loves all of us. Why would he make a world where we have mangoes, huh? He knows some of us would like mangoes. All right, take care of yourself. Be better than I am.